You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, if you're looking to add a furry friend to your family, there's a business in Miami that can help.
And a man has died after being shot at a Pittsburgh bar. We'll have more.
And we've got alert days now through Thursday for dangerous heat across the area. We're talking heat index values up to 120 possible. Take a full look at that forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. 7 o'clock now on this Monday morning. It is unfortunately Monday, but
it's back to school Monday.
Yeah,
if ever there's a good Monday.
Lots of the last groups of kids, because I know a lot of students in Kansas and Oklahoma already back in class. And
yes.
Missouri waiting just a few more days, unfortunately, starting on the hottest week that we have had so far.
Unfortunately.
And yeah, we're talking dangerous heat out there. We're going to talk more about that here in a few more minutes as well. But you know what's not too dangerous?
Tell us, Chris.
Adding a furry friend to your family.
Absolutely. And if you're looking to add a new furry addition to your family, one business in Miami can help with that. The Animal Welfare and Adoption Agency of Miami has been offering dog fostering and adoptions for over 10 years.
KOAM's Jasmine Knight has the story.
The Animal Welfare and Adoption Agency of Miami pride themselves on rehabilitation. They rescue stray puppies and dogs and give them a place to stay until they can find their forever home.
Everyone is reaching out to us. Other shelters in the area are reaching out to us because there's just not enough room for all of the dogs out there. So educating the kids and educating the people around here and getting these dogs spayed and neutered is the only way that we can eventually work our way out of the rescue.
The nonprofit agency consists of 3 volunteers. Each volunteer houses multiple puppies until they are either fostered or adopted. Their goal is to combat the puppy problem.
Dog population in this area is huge. We have so many strays, so many abandoned puppies. We had 10 puppies that were abandoned in a plastic tablecloth just last week.
For fostering families, the agency provides things like spay and neuters, food, crates, and medical for the pets. The Animal Welfare and Adoption Agency also tries their best to get them ready for home life.
We try to teach them just basic manners, trying to, teach them, how to go outside and come back inside and how to play with others nicely. So we try to teach them we try to house train them as much as we can while we have them.
The agency runs strictly on donations through Facebook, PayPal, or by dropping off at select local businesses.
So if you want to adopt a dog like this cutie right here, or if you just want to try fostering for the first time, check out Animal Welfare and Adoption Agency. Reporting in Miami, Jasmine Knight, KOAM News.
To make a donation or become a foster family, you can email miamiadoptadog@gmail.com or visit their Facebook page.
So certainly a worthy cause, and of course it never hurts to add a furry friend to your family.
So cute, right?
Absolutely.
So much love to give.
And you're going to need to check on your furry friends and the elderly and the children, as we've got dangerous heat this week. So we have an alert day now through Thursday, and this is why we've got excessive heat warnings for all of us. Now Wichita and Springfield have gone ahead and said, you know what, we're going to hold on to these through 10 o'clock Thursday night. And in Northeast Oklahoma, Tulsa has it until 8 o'clock, the Tulsa region, Northeast Oklahoma, the Tulsa office has these running until 8 o'clock this evening, and then they go into effect again tomorrow through 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, but again, would not be surprised to see those extended. So the number one safety tip with this extreme heat, if you don't have to be outside, don't. But if you have to be outside, stay hydrated, take frequent breaks, limit the strenuous outdoor activities, wear lightweight, light-colored clothes, check on the elderly and pets and children. And for schools, I know you're all getting back to school today, the last group of you are, you've got to weigh this and determine whether or not it's safe for recess, because by the time we get to recess times, we're talking heat index values 110, maybe 115 degrees out there, and that makes it dangerous for the kids running, playing, rolling, jumping, doing all that fun stuff. So I know it sucks for them to have to tell them, hey, sorry, you can't go outside this week. you just got to weigh the danger with this heat index value. So we're looking at heat exhaustion likely, heat stroke possible, and we're not that far off from heat stroke becoming likely. Then this morning, we're also dealing with dense fog, zero visibility. Fort Scott and Chanute down to 0.2 of a mile in Yates Center, just over half a mile in Iola, down to about 1.5 miles in Pittsburgh. So if you're traveling anywhere into parts of southeast Kansas and then into Vernon and Barton County in Missouri, now out toward Monette, you've got to slow down and be prepared for this dense fog that's building on the KDOT camera at 69 and 520th Avenue. And from our camera here at the KOAM studios just north of Crestline, you can see how thick that fog is across the area. Now, the good news is, even though we are hot almost all week long, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We're going to take another full look at your forecast and let you know when the heat will eventually go away here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, we've got Amber Jenkins live at Soaring Heights Elementary as it's the first day of school in Joplin. Welcome back, Amber.
Good morning. It's the first day of school for students in Joplin, and we're live here at Soaring Heights Elementary School. I just got done talking to two of the principals, Kathy Boer and Josh Thompson, about their expectations for the school year. And of course, they want attendance to stay high throughout the school year and stay consistent. Another thing they changed is the student drop-off procedure at the front of the school. The bus rider is going to be let off up there, but behind the school, they're going to have the car rider line. They blocked off one lane so the parents can use the other lane and keep it a smooth, streamless, process for everyone. Right now, you can see students and teachers are piling into the school, making sure that everything is ready for that first day. Back to you, Caitlin.
Thanks, Amber. Well, definitely an exciting day, and we'll check back with you later in the show. And a Pittsburgh police officer says that a man is dead after an early Sunday morning shooting outside of a bar. It happened by Jimmy B's Bar at 202 North Locust Street around 1:15 yesterday morning. The victim has been identified as 36-year-old Justin Krogan of Pittsburgh. Police believe the shooting was an isolated incident that may have stemmed from an argument. There's been no word of a suspect or anyone has been taken into custody. However, they are asking the public for help in identifying anyone in this photo of people that were at the bar. If you have any information, contact the Pittsburgh Police Department. And there was also an early Sunday morning shooting near a bar in Joplin. This one happened around 1:30 yesterday morning in the 500 block of Joplin Avenue. Police say a patrol officer heard a gunshot, responded, and found a man with a gunshot wound. The victim was taken to the hospital where he was last reported in critical but stable condition. JPD is asking anyone with information to come forward. Main Street Axe Company in Joplin held a hatchet marathon for throwers of all levels. It was a double elimination tournament and included lunch and drink specials. A skee ball tournament also took place after the marathon. And up next, why saying hello to people is a good thing for you.
Plus, the affidavits used to obtain warrants to raid a Marion, Kansas newspaper have been released. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Be right back, but first, get a live look from Soaring Heights in Joplin as kids on the Missouri side get back to school today.
In Health Watch this morning, the next time you see your neighbor, make sure to say hi. A new Gallup poll found that saying hi to the people who live around you can impact your overall well-being in a good way. Respondents had to rank their level of well-being across 5 metrics, including career, social, financial, physical, and community. The survey found that people who reported saying hello to 0 neighbors scored 51.5 on the well-being index, while those who reportedly saying hello to 6 neighbors regularly scored 64.1 on the well-being index. Now, there are some limits. According to the poll, saying hello to 6 people is the magic number, and found that saying hello to more than 6 people did not show any meaningful benefits. And questions are being raised about the effectiveness of blue light eyewear, glasses that are specifically designed to block or filter out the blue light that's emitted from different tech screens. The glasses are supposed to help you sleep better, reduce headaches, and protect your skin and eyes, but these claims are being called into question. A new study that was published Friday in the Cochrane Database of Systematic Reviews says they found no short-term advantages from using blue light filtering lenses, and researchers could not draw any definitive conclusions about the potential long-term effects. Researchers say people should be aware of these findings when they're deciding whether to purchase the special glasses. And more than 356,000 people suffer from cardiac arrest outside of the hospital every year in the U.S., and up to 80% of them die before reaching the hospital, according to the American Heart Association. Using an automated external defibrillator, or AED, can significantly increase chances of survival. But you have to know how to use it. Mandy Gaither has more on what a doctor says you need to know before there's an emergency.
It can happen in an instant, and a person in cardiac arrest needs help right away.
You have 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes from the person fainting till the AED restores a normal rhythm before you are likely to sustain brain damage.
Dr. Naomi Cortez with Nationwide Children's Hospital says she sees all too often the consequences of people not knowing what to do.
In the last year, I have had patients who have fainted at school. The AED was around the corner. Nobody used it, and the child died.
That's why she says it's critical to know 3 things before a cardiac arrest emergency. First, people need access to automated external defibrillators so they can be used. They need to also be able to get to them quickly, Cortez says, within 2 minutes of any place in a building. Finally, people need to know how to use the AED, be comfortable getting it off the wall and putting it on the patient. She says the device will do the rest.
The minute someone faints and they don't wake up, somebody should be calling 911. Somebody should be doing CPR, and somebody should be getting that AED.
A person may be in cardiac arrest if they collapse suddenly, pass out, aren't breathing, or are gasping for air, don't respond to shouting or shaking, or if they don't have a pulse. Cortez says running drills every year can help get people prepared just in case.
The doctor says cardiac arrest can be caused by structural problems or abnormalities in the heart, but she says it's impossible to screen for all things that can cause this dangerous condition. For example, a heart infection or a hit to the chest can also cause cardiac arrest. That's why she says it's always good to be prepared.
And we've got ourselves not only the excessive and dangerous heat that we have to deal with this week, but this morning some of us dealing with some dense fog across the area. We'll take another full look at your forecast here in just a moment, but first we're going to meet the owner of a unique food truck that serves prison-like food. That's a little later in the show. We'll be back after this, but we're going to take you live now to Soaring Heights in Joplin, as this is the first day of school down there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 7:17 on this Monday morning. We got a lot to cover here. We've got excessive heat warnings across the entire area. Now for Wichita and Springfield, those weather offices have gone ahead and put these out through 10 o'clock this Thursday. And in Tulsa, they'll run until 8 o'clock this evening and then kick back in tomorrow and run until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, but very likely will continue to be extended as we go through this week. So the number one safety tip if you with this dangerous heat is if you don't have to be outside, don't. But if you do, you need to stay hydrated, take frequent breaks, limit strenuous outdoor activities, wear lightweight, light-colored clothing, check on elderly and the pets, and of course the children. And for schools out there getting back to class, you've just got to consider how dangerous this heat could be as we head into the afternoon, and consider not letting the kids out for recess. As I've mentioned, I know that stinks. They really want to get out there, play, use that energy, but this week it's just going to be too dangerous. As we're at this level where heat exhaustion is likely, heat stroke is possible, we're not far off from heat stroke being highly likely. And over the weekend, our friends in KC, Lawrence area, hit heat index values of greater than 130 out there. So this is dangerous heat over the next several days. Now, fog, I-44 out toward Mount Vernon, 69 Fort Scott, 54 as you head to the west. We've got dense fog out there. Now, we still don't have any dense fog advisories, but you can see some of that fog on the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, and it's starting to look a little better, but you can still see some of that dense fog on our camera here at the KOAM Studios just north of Crestline on Highway 69. And you cross the state lines, no fog on the Missouri side, or at least in the Joplin area. We do have some fog in Barton and Vernon counties up to the north. Sitting at 75, and here's why our heat index values are going to be so bad this week. Dew point, humidity, both high, and they're going to remain that way through the majority of this week as well. We're 76 in Iola, 77 in Fort Scott, 75 Miami, Nevada, 72 in Pittsburgh. A little cooler, Parsons 69, Neodesha at 70. We get our morning started, and again, partly cloudy, mostly clear skies, upper 80s by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, our highs today, upper 90s, lower 100s under mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. It's going to be hazy, hot, and humid. As we head into the evening, no relief from the heat in the evening or overnight as we go back in upper 70s and lower 80s. Triple digits through Thursday, hence the alert days. We're keeping an eye on Friday as well as we go up to 99. But then this weekend, that's where that light at the end of the tunnel is as we go back into the upper 80s, lower 90s, and we stay that way as we kick off the next work week. And we do have some isolated thunderstorm chances this weekend as well. We've been keeping track of an ongoing story out of Marion County, Kansas. A paper was raided there by police, but everything was later returned. Now, 3 affidavits detailing the reasons why the Marion police gave for requesting the search warrants has been released. Haley Tucker has the story.
In newly released documents, we're learning more about why Marion police searched and seized property from the Marion County record in 2 homes. In details we already knew, the Marion Police Chief Gideon Cody says he was investigating the identity theft and unlawful acts concerning computers in regards to local business owner Carrie Newell. Here's how it started. A source sent the paper Newell's driving record showing a DUI arrest. Newell was facing a city council vote for approval of a liquor license. The source alleged she didn't have a driver's license due to the DUI arrest, which state law says you must have to obtain a liquor license. The attorney says a reporter for the paper did try to verify that information using public information websites. The paper says it wasn't going to report on it, but the editor sent the information to Chief Cody. In the affidavits, Chief Cody states the reporter misrepresented herself to access and download the information. The attorney says what the reporter did was legal under state and U.S. law. He goes on to say, quote, "As I have said numerous times in the last week, it is not a crime in America to be a reporter." These affidavits prove that the only so-called crime Chief Cody was investigating was being a reporter.
So certainly was something that we will continue to monitor as that develops out in Marion County, Kansas. Well, coming up, students of Joplin High School have a safer way to get across 20th Street when they're heading to class. Well, after a few years behind bars, a man in Phoenix turned his life around, establishing his own food truck. Now the meals he serves are quite different from the rest.
Stephanie Bennett takes us to learn more.
Nobody knows about this type of food. You know, the stuff that we did in prison was just totally different than anything that you eat out here.
It's convict cuisine. A former Valley inmate is bringing prison-inspired food for the people who want a taste of what it's like on the inside.
Don't knock it till you try it. You know, a lot of people think, oh, prison food, you know, it's nasty, or why would anybody eat like that, or hey, you're out of prison now, why are you still eating like that? And hey, the food's good.
John Avila, owner of Prison Pies, came up with the idea while serving 2.5 years behind bars. He says he had to get creative with his limited jail snacks. After he was released, he made his dream a reality.
We officially started in 2020. All the restaurants were closed and food trucks were everywhere, so I just figured that was the right time to, you know, to get our name out there and start the business. Within a couple weeks, you know, the first few people that started trying it, they started talking about it, and then yeah, after that, everybody just loved the food.
His company now has quite the following on social media, and the unique food combinations keeps bringing customers back.
We make prison-style tamales, and those tamales are made out of Doritos. The masa is made out of Doritos. We also make nachos. Things that people like the most is our Cadillac coffees. We put chocolate syrup, caramel, and then your choice of either Snickers, Reese's, or any kind of chocolate.
It's certainly a unique food truck.
A+ for creativity, but I mean, there's so many great food trucks around here.
Yeah.
I'd rather not eat prison food and just have good old-fashioned food truck food.
I personally have never been to prison or jail.
Yet.
Yeah, I'm not planning on a trip to any of those places.
Good
Hopefully
for
I can
you.
avoid that. I try and stay out of trouble, as best as I can. I've spent
for
my
you.
life trying to stay out of trouble. I don't intentionally go looking for trouble.
They don't need weathermen in jail.
No,
Chris.
we don't. But the thing is, with our technology, thanks to the pandemic now, I could still forecast from jail. Maybe that's something we should just try for fun.
Let's go live.
Let's do
From
that.
behind.
I'm kidding.
You're
That's
amazing.
I don't want to set foot inside a jail.
joking.
Never have, and I have no intention of doing so.
All right, well, coming up, the community of Quapaw comes together to throw back to school bash.
And we are continuing to deal with that dangerous heat as we head into the week. We will take a look at that forecast when we come back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. The current time is 7:29 a.m. Joplin High School students now have a safer option to get to school. Saturday, the Joplin School District held a ribbon cutting for a new crosswalk on 20th Street near the high school. The crosswalk features a center island and bright flashing signs to alert motorists that someone is crossing. Officials say there is still some electrical work to be done, but otherwise the project is complete just in time for this first day of classes. And we've got Amber Jenkins live at Soaring Heights Elementary as it's the first day of school in Joplin. Welcome back, Amber.
Well, good morning, and it's the first day of school for students in Joplin. We're here live at Soaring Heights Elementary School. I got Zaina with me. Zaina, how's the first day of school going?
Well, it's going pretty well.
Are you have anything that you're excited about today?
Yeah, I'm excited to have a new teacher.
Nice. Is there any subjects you like any math?
I like writing.
I love writing too. That was my best subject in school. So, are you excited to make some new friends? What grade are you going into?
5th. I'm going into 5th grade.
5th grade. All right. That's exciting. Well, is there anything coming up for the school year that you are excited about?
No, not really.
Hey, it's going to get there. It's just the first day. It's okay. But I also noticed while everybody's walking to school today, there's an armadillo back there. There's an armadillo greeting you guys.
I think that Texas Roadhouse is being a volunteer this year for something.
Nice. That's pretty awesome. Were you expecting to see an armadillo outside?
No, I wasn't expecting to see an armadillo.
Nice. Well, make sure you get a hug with the armadillo and make sure you say hey to him. And I just want to let you know, I hope you have a great first day of school.
Thank you.
Nice. Well, we'll be right back to you, Caitlin.
Thank you so much, Amber. Well, as school is preparing to start around the 4 states, the community of Quapaw came together for the Quapaw Bash. The event was an opportunity for the community to get to know public school safety staff while enjoying various activities before the start of the school year. It included hamburgers and hot dogs, a jump house, a water slide, a dunk tank, and much more.
Nowadays with the economy and how hard it is to go do stuff, especially with money, we kind of want something where people can come have fun and do something without having to worry about money. We got free hot dogs, free hamburgers, free fun.
20 different organizations attended and contributed to the event. And First Baptist Church Oronogo hosted a back-to-school block party in Oronogo City Park. The event gets families together to have fun before the school year begins. First Baptist made the event possible from the offerings of the church. They also want to remind people of the importance of God in the community.
It means to simply do what Jesus did. Go to the people in the community and serve them and show them and tell them of the love of God. And so it is one of the most basic functions of the church, is to get out in the community and show people the love of God. And so it's crucial.
The event featured snow cones, bouncy houses, face painting, food, and loads of fun.
And we've got ourselves some dangerous heat to contend with over the next several days. We have excessive heat warnings for the entire area. Now for southeast Kansas, southwest Missouri, those run until 10 o'clock this Thursday. And in northeast Oklahoma, they'll run until 8 this evening and then kick back in tomorrow and run until 8 tomorrow evening. But again, it's very likely that those will be extended, as we're looking at heat index values potentially as high as 120 degrees across the area. So the number one extreme heat safety tip, if you don't have to be outside, don't. just don't. This is extraordinarily dangerous heat. But if for whatever reason your job or whatever comes up requires you to be outside, you've got to stay hydrated, take frequent breaks, limit strenuous outdoor activities, wear lightweight, light-colored clothing, check on elderly and pets. And of course, with schools getting back in session, administrators, you've really got to weigh the risks of students going out for recess, because we're at that point where heat exhaustion is likely, heat stroke is possible. We're not far off from heat stroke being highly likely for some of those more vulnerable populations. So honestly, the best advice this week is, as much as it stinks, keep the kids inside, as the heat is going to be too dangerous to let them out. And in fact, some of our friends up in Lawrence and Kansas City area, they hit heat index values higher than 130 over the weekend. So this is very dangerous heat. You have to take it seriously. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. We'll have another look at that full forecast here in a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Schiffer-Decker Aquatic Center hosted a doggy dive-in event that took place Saturday. The event allows dogs of all sizes, ages, and breeds to enjoy the water before the pool is drained. It also gave them a way to cool down and escape from the heat of the summer. Typically around 30 dogs come, and for dogs like Salvador, it's the best day of his life.
He loves it. He loves going in the water.
Dogs have a lot of fun when they come out. They get to run around, jump in the water, play with other dogs. It's just like a good way to get them some exercise and kind of make friends with other dogs and just have a good day.
Doggy diving costs $5 for dogs, while humans got in for free.
I sold the doe $900 straight away. Buyer number is 13.
Right there is the Heartland Showcase Boer Goat Sale that took place at the Bourbon County Fairgrounds in Fort Scott. The event was open to the public and began at 12 p.m. Attendees were able to bid on nearly 100 goats at the auction. Bidders were also able to participate in the sale online.
The Heartland Showcase sale has been going on for 10 years, and for 3 years we also included a show, and we put on 2 shows, ABGA shows, on Saturday before our sale on Sunday.
The Heartland Showcase Boer Goat Sale takes place on the 3rd week in August every year. And Carthage residents had the opportunity to attend the 2nd annual Sudstock on Saturday. The purpose of the event was to educate the community about substance misuse and prevention. The event was carnival themed with various shows under the big top tent and water activities to stay cool. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up on this half hour of the KOAM Morning News. A church is broken into, but the perpetrator of the break-in is someone, or should we say something, you might not expect.
Plus, we have got the dangerous heat. We've even had some dense fog to deal with this morning. We'll take a look at all that when we come back. But first, got another live look from Soaring Heights Elementary in Joplin as those students, this is their first day back to class. Caught on surveillance video, a masked bandit breaking into a church in Milwaukee. Madeline O'Neill explains that this was no ordinary bandit. It was a furry one who left behind quite a mess.
Never seen anything like this.
Pastor Ingrid Durr found this sign of a break-in.
I saw somebody must have threw a brick in there or something.
At a church where everyone is welcome. Nearly.
That's the only one that's not welcome, the raccoon.
Outside Chosen Generation Outreach Ministry, Durr says she's seen a family of raccoons.
They climbed up that tree right there.
She just didn't expect to see one.
That's what I call him. I think it's a little rascal, this little rascal running around.
Running around inside her church.
I'm looking through my phone, my footage and everything around the building, and that's when I see this little rascal on the table.
It seems the bandit's mask wasn't enough to hide its identity.
So I walk away and see the long tail. I said, that's a raccoon.
The raccoon was in the church's dining room, caught red-pawed.
Wow, he really did a thing in here.
Durr recruited some neighborhood help to make sure Rascal left the church.
I believe it's a beacon of light here.
Which is also a potential beacon for what raccoons love most.
It's probably looking for food. And I hope he didn't open the refrigerator.
I see his little head sticking out somewhere if he's in here.
Knocking down ceiling tiles and leaving a general mess. This raccoon may have overstayed its welcome.
Office is still a whack. But at least I know what it was now. It was still a rascal running around.
It's like that raccoon went in there with a baseball bat and took it to some of the things in that church. Well, hopefully they get that cleaned up and make sure those raccoons do not come back. Well, coming up, Elon Musk says X's block feature is going to be limited to direct messages only. And we've got the fog to deal with this morning, and we have dangerous heat to deal with all week long. We'll take another look at that forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:43 now on this Monday. We have the excessive heat warnings for all of us. At Wichita and Springfield have gone ahead and put these out and through 10 o'clock this Thursday. And for Northeast Oklahoma, Tulsa's going through 8 o'clock this evening, and then it goes into effect again tomorrow and then runs until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see these extended, as we've got heat index values as high as 120 out there. We've been going over the safety tips with you, and of course you can find these safety tips on our website as well at KOAMnewsnow.com. But we're talking heat index values upwards of 120, making heat exhaustion likely, heat stroke possible, and getting dangerously close to making heat stroke highly likely. So again, for schools out there getting back to class, you've got to consider this, and that it is too dangerous for the students to go out to recess this week. I know that stinks. It's a great way for them to burn off some energy, but it's not a safe way as we go through the week, as these dangerous temperatures will last through at least Thursday, if not Friday. We also have the dense fog, again, primarily in southeastern Kansas, where you can see Yates Center, Iola, Chanute, Fort Scott, very low visibility out there. Still some fog on the KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh, but it's starting to clear, and same from our camera here north of Crestline. You can see there's still some fog, but it's a lot less dense than it was, say, about half an hour or 45 minutes ago. In Joplin, clear skies, no fog in Joplin. We're sitting at 75, dew point humidity both very high, and they're going to remain that way, and that's why the heat index values are so much worse this go-around compared to a couple of weeks ago. 76, Iola, 77, Fort Scott, Nevada, 74, Pittsburgh, Lamar, 68, Neodesha, 69, Parsons, a little cooler, and 75, Miami, and 73, Neosho. We are getting into the upper 80s by late morning under partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, and same mostly clear, partly cloudy through the afternoon. Highs upper 90s, lower 100s. Our overnight lows right around 80. We hold on to the triple digits and the alert days through at least Thursday, keeping an eye on Friday as well as we look to get hot again. And then this weekend, there's that light I was talking about. We have some isolated thunderstorm chances and temperatures dropping to much more reasonable levels, upper 80s and lower 90s. Let's check your forecast. Now here's Caitlin with a check of Consumer Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, users of X, formerly known as Twitter, will no longer be able to block other accounts. That is according to Elon Musk. On Friday, he posted that block is going to be deleted as a feature, except for direct messages. He also posted that the block function, quote, makes no sense, end quote. He was responding to a post from the account of Tesla owner Silicon Valley, which asked, quote, is there ever a reason to block versus mute someone, end quote. Blocking prevents that user from interacting with an account, such as following them or seeing a post. And the maker of Beanie Babies says it's releasing a new limited edition bear to help wildfire survivors in Hawaii. It's named Aloha, and it's gold with a rainbow ribbon and the words Maui Strong on its chest. Ty Warner says all profits from its sale will go to the American Red Cross. Beanie Babies come with birthdays and poems. Aloha's birthday is August 8th, the day the wildfires took off in Maui. Its poem says, quote, helping each other all day long, we forever will stay Maui strong. And we'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. A popular Texas zoo attraction is back, and it's a two-headed snake. Its return brings up quite the conundrum.
Yeah, what happens when the two heads disagree? JD Moose reports.
After over 2 years, he's headed back, both heads ready to turn heads at the Cameron Park Zoo in Waco, Texas.
Do the two heads get along?
They almost ignore each other.
Meet Poncho and Lefty, named after the country western song.
Poncho needs your prayers, it's true, but save a few for Lefty too.
The harmless western rat snake was found by a local resident and donated to the zoo when he was a few weeks old.
He has 2 different brains.
In 7 years, he's grown from 8 inches to 3 feet.
Is he right-headed or is he left-headed?
The dominant head is the right head. However, the left head does have ideas of its own.
And when Lefty goes one direction and Poncho goes the other, it's trouble. The snake gets hung up on things and injures himself. In 2021, the wound got so bad he had to be removed from his exhibit to be treated and to heal. That waxy-looking substance on Lefty's neck protects the injured area.
So which head eats?
They both do.
But the dominant right sometimes drags Lefty away from a mouse meal. The right head gets more to eat, though it all ends up in the same stomach. 20 years ago, I covered a two-headed turtle named Lefty Righty, whose heads stole food from one another. When one head yawned, the other did too. They got caught on plants. The snakes exhibit has been revamped, so there's little to get stuck on. And two heads are no reason Poncho and Lefty couldn't enjoy romance once he's older.
They will tongue flick the female up and down her body.
So maybe two heads would be better than one for that.
It sure is possible.
A two-headed snake threesome? It's enough to leave your heads spinning. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Fair enough. Well, best of luck to Poncho and Lefty there. I'm sure that they will have much success in their future endeavors.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Two-headed snake.
Thank you. Well, here's a check of what's coming up next.
Would be the weather, actually.
Meh.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that right now. I know we don't want to because, man, it's not so good, but that's what we've got to deal with. All right, real quick recap. We have the excessive heat warnings across the entire area. For Kansas, Missouri, they run through 10 o'clock this Thursday. In northeast Oklahoma, they'll run through 8 o'clock this evening, kick back in tomorrow, and run through 8 o'clock Tuesday evening, and I'm sure they'll be extended as we're looking at heat index values as high as 120 degrees. So if you have to be outside, stay hydrated, take frequent breaks, limit the outdoor activities, wear lightweight, light-colored clothing, check on elderly and pets. And for the schools going back, you got to make sure that you're weighing the risk of this heat index value of up to 120. Heat exhaustion likely, heat stroke possible. You probably do not want the kids outside running around in this extreme heat for recess, at least through this week. And then, of course, if you're traveling in the northern parts of southeast Kansas and into southwest Missouri, watch out for this dense fog. Visibility is down to 0 in some locations. There's some light at the end of the tunnel. We'll tell you when it cools down and how hot it's going to get between now and then when we come back.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Pittsburgh police say a man is dead after an early Sunday morning shooting outside of a bar. It happened by Jimmy B's Bar at 202 North Locust Street around 1:15 yesterday morning. The victim has been identified as 36-year-old Justin Krogan of Pittsburgh. Police believe the shooting was an isolated incident that may have stemmed from an argument. There's been no word on a suspect or if anyone is in custody. However, they are asking the public for help identifying anyone in this photo of people that were seen at the bar. If you have any information, contact the Pittsburgh Police Department. There was also an early Sunday morning shooting near a bar in Joplin. This one happened around 1:30 yesterday morning in the 500 block of Joplin Avenue. Police say a patrol officer heard a gunshot, responded, and found a man with a gunshot wound. The victim was taken to the hospital where he was later reported in critical but stable condition. JPD is asking anyone with information to come forward. Saturday, the Joplin School District held a ribbon cutting for a new crosswalk on 20th Street near the high school. The crosswalk features a center island and bright flashing signs to alert motorists that someone is crossing. Officials say there is still some electrical work to be done, but otherwise the project is complete just in time for the start of classes today. Schifferdecker Aquatic Center hosted a doggy dive-in event that took place Saturday. The event allowed dogs of all sizes, ages, and breeds to enjoy the water before the pool was drained. It also gave them a way to cool down and escape the heat of the summer.
We've got ourselves dangerous heat across the area. We're looking at highs upper 90s, lower 100s, heat index values as high as 120 degrees out there. That's why we have excessive heat warnings and alert days through Thursday. No relief from the heat through the evening or overnight as we go back into the upper 70s, lower 80s. We stick with the triple digits through at least Thursday, keeping an eye on Friday for that excessive heat as well. So again, if you don't have to be outdoors, simply do not. However, as we head into this weekend, that's where we see some relief. We have some isolated thunderstorm chances Saturday and Sunday, and temperatures down to more manageable levels back into the upper 80s and lower 90s.
All right, well, a zoo in Illinois welcomed the birth of a critically endangered antelope calf on August 8th.
The 15-pound male calf was the third addax calf to be born at Brookfield Zoo in just over a year.
The species is at risk of becoming extinct, with estimates of there being possibly less than 100 of the critically endangered African antelope remaining in the wild, according to the Chicago Zoological Society.
So it's great to be able to continue to grow that population as best we can, because there's too many extinct species, or too many nearly extinct, I should say, that we've got to try and help.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Chris.
Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good in your morning. Stay indoors if you can out there with this dangerous heat, and we'll be back with more news and weather from the indoors today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better first day of school.